That's kind of how I looked at my addiction. Like, I'm basically just getting a front on happiness. I'm getting a loan on happiness.
Right.
Here you go. You can have this now. You just pay me later. And then when it was time to pay, which is withdraw, I say to him, no, you know what? I'm gonna use a little bit more and then just add it to my tab. I'll pay you later.
Yeah.
And you basically just, that compounds over and over and over, and it comes with interest.
This is the Atomic Souls Podcast.
Reps. That's all you got to do. The more you do it, the better you get. That's kind of the case with anything, right?
Doing things over and over and over until they become easy.
Yeah. Well, isn't that the saying? Like 10,000 hours will make you a master of anything?
Yeah. To fully get a grip on some study. But does it get easier, or do you just get...
I think you get better at it.
Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of like when we're talking about the analogy with working out. Like the weights don't get lighter, you just get better at picking them up.
We did talk about that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like anything else, you just learn how to cope with it. It's like people that have anxiety and stress, those kinds of, mental ailments, they don't go away, but you get better at coping with them, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like it's never going to disappear, but you get better at it. Yeah.
I was listening to a guy on a podcast, I think it was a Sean Ryan podcast, and he has like a bunch of CIA friends, and they said like anxiety disorders is actually a recruitment for them. Like that's specifically what they target, because anxiety is usually associated with hyper awareness.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so they intentionally hire people that have anxiety disorders.
Oh, wow. Well, I'd be their top candidate.
Well, yeah, if you think about it though, like if you think of like OCD or something, like you have a hyper awareness of everything's order.
Yeah. I mean, that's the biggest piece of it, and that's why it's so consuming. You shouldn't open the OCD jar. Dude, I could sit here and
well, apparently that's the proper way to introduce you, according to some people.
Right. Hey, this is Sal. He's got severe OCD. Yeah, OCD is one of those, disorders that it gets a lot of misunderstanding, right? Like people are like, oh, well, I'm so OCD. My car has to be clean, or, I have to keep my nightstand clean, whatever it is, some sort of like tidiness. They identify that as OCD. And the reality is that 9 times out of 10, that person is just organized. They're not OCD.
Right.
OCD is a very different thing. It's the fear of uncertainty. Not knowing for certain paralyzes you. And so what you do to kind of fight that is you check and you count. Right. Flip the light switch 28 times.
So it's almost like a compulsion rather than just the awareness.
Yeah, it's both.
Yeah. Because you could be super organized, and that's not really a compulsion. It's just like a habitual nature that you develop. Yeah,
it's like a preference. Like it's just how you like things.
Well, compulsion, you're not preferring to do that. It's like I cannot not do it.
Yeah, dude. It's like I said, it's the fear. There's 2 parts to it, I would say, and one of them is the fear of the uncertainty, but the other part is, and now I'm just completely drawing a blank. So yeah, 2 parts. The first part is the fear of the uncertainty, right? Like I gotta know for sure, and what do I have to do to give myself that certainty? That's why you have all the counting and the checking and things like that. The second part is it's all fueled by intrusive thoughts. So it's like I have this little voice in my head that's like, hey, if you don't check that stove for the 6th time before you leave the house,
it might be on.
There's a good chance that your house is going to catch on fire and your dogs are going to die, And it's like, I don't know how to put it into words, but it's the voice of truth. Like there is no part that's like, oh, Sal, that's just in your head. No, like it feels very, very real. It's it holds weight. And so, that's what kind of fuels it all. That's what makes people with OCD do all these things. And,
I get some of that, but I just get it from like memory loss. Like I'm really bad about. So when I'm on the boats, we have like a shutdown procedure to where when we shut the engines down, you have to turn your radars off. You have to turn your steering pumps off, all those things.
Yeah.
And I'm so terrible about, I will walk about halfway down the stairs from the wheelhouse. And then I'm like, did I turn the steering pump off?
Yep.
And I'll run back up and I'll look at it like, oh yeah, I turned it off. And I'll get halfway down the stairs. Did I turn the radar off? And I'll run back up.
Damn.
Oh, yeah, I'll turn it off. And I'll run halfway down the stairs.
You got a little bit. Yeah. And that's what it is, bro. That's what it is.
I think it's like an age-induced thing because also I've gotten to the points where I will walk in a room and be like, why did I come in here again?
Yeah. That's happening more often.
Yeah. I have to be more and more reliant on checklists so that way I can go back and, I checked my list off, so that was good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny. Devon has a little bit of that too. I might be rubbing off on her, but
you are.
Something that I'll do is like, this is so stupid, but like, let's say I want to be able to remember for sure that the stove is off.
Sure.
So like while I'm turning the stove off, I'll like sing a song or some stupid shit like that. So that later on, when I'm like, damn, did I turn that stove off? I'm
like, oh yeah, no, I was singing the song.
I was singing fucking Britney Spears when I did it. Yeah, of course it's off.
Make it like a memorable event.
Yeah, it's just like a marker for it, which is insane. But
did you ever watch that movie back in the day, Memento, where he would like tattoo significant events on his body because his memory would reset every day or something?
No, that sounds familiar though.
Yeah, it was years ago when I watched it, so I don't fully remember exactly what the plot was, but it was like every time he went to sleep, his memory would reset. So he would have to like tattoo things on his body.
So he had no memory that it was even happening? Like, was he able to recognize like, damn, my memory's wiped?
I don't know. It was like 20 years ago I watched this because I kind of feel like maybe I'm getting this confused with 50 First Dates now too.
That's a classic. It made me think of Groundhog Day.
But I do remember it was something to do with his memory, and like his memory would get wiped, so he would tattoo like the really important stuff on his body.
Yeah. Huh. That's pretty cool.
It was kind of like you got to make it really memorable. Like, well, I'm not forgetting that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this will remind me.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything you can do to fucking set a mark on whatever event you need to remember, I think that's helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, checklists are huge for me. I have a checklist for pretty much everything significant. Because I don't know, like it gives me confidence that I can just go look at my checklist and like, oh, it's done. Yeah. And then the way we have, I do a lot of stuff in Monday, even outside of the company, and it'll send me notifications when I didn't do something. So it's like, well,
yes, it will.
If I'm not getting notifications, then I got it done.
Right. Yeah, Monday is cool. It's nice to be able to have that security. Like I like looking at a fully complete list.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I know good
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that I did it, but it's really nice to see it. It's like, I don't know, illustrating my work for the day, if that makes sense.
That's exactly right. It's like, it's kind of like cutting grass. Like the act of cutting grass isn't great, but once you're finished and you look back and you're like, oh yeah, it looked like shit before I started. Yeah. And now I have this nice, well-cut managed yard.
I saw something recently. This guy was talking about maybe part of the reason that we as people are so lazy is because when we think about the tasks that we want to do, like cutting grass, we're so focused on the work, and that discourages us, right?
Yeah, procrastinating. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes us go, fuck, I don't want to do that. So he suggests that instead of focusing on what it's going to take to do it or the actual work itself, to just think about the result. So if I'm going to cut my grass, instead of thinking like, man, I'm going to be sweating for a couple hours, I better get ready, just gear my mind to the finished result instead. So it's like, it's Saturday, it's time to cut the grass, and all I'm thinking of is me looking at a complete yard.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it sounds simple and kind of stupid, but I think that's a really good point, man.
No, power of perspective is everything. Yeah. You have to be able to, that's why like the hopelessness is like, you refer to that as like, you don't see any light at the end of the tunnel. Because if there's a light at the end of the tunnel, then you can keep charging towards it.
That's right.
They did a bunch of studies with I think it was rats or gerbils, to where they would put a rat in the water and it would drown like in 2 minutes.
Okay.
But if they would put the rat in the water and then right before it drowned, they pulled it back out the water. When they put it in the water again, it would sit there and tread water for like 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
Because it had that hope of, well, somebody's going to save me.
Oh, wow.
But without the hope, it gave up. And that's the power of perspective. The perspective of hope pushes you to keep trying.
Yeah. Perspective can save your life.
Yeah.
How cool.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's a huge thing.
Yeah.
I do that constantly. I have to remind myself of, well, okay, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? And not just like, I forgot why I'm doing it, but literally like, what is the value of what I am doing?
And it's interesting too. It just seems like we're so geared to be negative about things. You know? Like, why don't we naturally have that perspective? Why don't we naturally see the good in things, you know?
So that is exactly what me and Rachel were talking about the other day. It might have been in the episode that ended up having a scrap because it didn't record properly. But there's two things to that. First off, in my opinion, I think to be successful, in most cases, it means to go against whatever your natural state is. So like we're creatures of comfort, right? We're constantly trying to find comfort. But to be successful and to achieve personal growth is to get outside of your comfort.
Very uncomfortable.
So if it feels good, if it's fun, if it's relaxing, it's wrong. That's what you should not be doing.
Yeah.
And the other side of that too is having, we talk about like SMART goals and stuff a lot, having defined achievable goals. That is the purpose of a mission statement when you're in business. Is you should be able to quantify everything towards that mission statement of what this activity that I'm doing right now, how does this push me towards that ultimate goal?
Right.
How does this pursue my mission?
Right.
And I think it's very important in our personal lives that we do the same thing. You think of a business as an entity, it has goals, right? Well, you as a person, you should think of yourself as a similar entity. You have goals that you want to achieve. You have growth models that you want to pursue. So you should have a mission statement for your life that you want to achieve.
How cool. It's like you're your own business.
You are.
Yeah.
Yeah. The government thinks you are. That's why they tax you.
Sure treat us like it. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. That's a fresh perspective. Just kind of looking at that, putting in the work, sacrificing, getting uncomfortable first.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do that part first, you're going to do it later. And it's probably going to be more ugly. Does that make sense?
Oh, 100%. Delayed gratification is the key to everything.
Right.
Well, think about it in the recovery world. Instant gratification is the problem.
Right.
We instantly gratify or instantly cope with drug use.
Because I want it now.
Yeah. Delayed gratification would be going to therapy and working through my problems and working through my traumas, or, doing difference in routine or working out or changing diet, like all these things that have such an effect on our mental well-being.
Right.
Those would be the delayed gratification things. Those are things that we're supposed to do. But in so many cases, we don't.
Right. And it's funny that we don't, because either way it goes, you're going to have to sacrifice something. Right. You either do the work up front and you get the delayed gratification, which is much more sustainable.
Sure.
Or you do the complete opposite and say, I don't want to put in the work. I'm going to use a cheat code and I'm going to get it now. I'm going to take this pill or smoke this bowl, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you're going to pay.
But delayed gratification to where, I go to the gym for the next 6 months and I come out and I'm starting to look really good and stuff. Like that is super, super fulfilling and satisfying. Yeah. Or, let's say you like old cars and stuff. You want to work on an old car.
Restore something. Yeah.
Even if it doesn't look as as good as the brand new one does, there's a gratification to it of like, I did this.
I did that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's why delayed gratification is more satisfying, is because it's not just the finished product that you get, it's also the self-worth.
Exactly.
And, kind of the pride that comes with it. Like, look at me, I did it. And not for anybody but myself.
Right.
But yeah, obviously that's the much more sustainable option. But we as addicts, or really just people, we gravitate towards the exciting route instead, right?
Yeah.
Give it to me now. I'd rather have this. I don't have to work for it, and I'll pay you later. That's kind of how I looked at my addiction. Like, I'm basically just getting a front on happiness. I'm getting a loan on happiness.
Right.
Here you go. You can have this now. You just pay me later. And then when it was time to pay, which is withdraw, I say to him, no, you know what? I'm gonna use a little bit more, and then just add it to my tab. I'll pay you later.
Yeah.
And you basically just, that compounds over and over and over, and it comes with interest.
Dude, that is the perfect metaphor.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly what it is.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, you're taking a loan out so you can get it early, and then the interest rate on it is just insane.
It's insane because you're going to have to pay. You're going to pay with blood, sweat, and tears, so to speak. You're going to pay with withdrawal. You're going to pay with shame. You're going to pay with guilt.
Sure.
The other side is always going to get their money. There's no free lunch. There's always going to be some cost, right?
Yeah.
And
2 truths of life: taxes and death.
How true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. It's so interesting to me how like perfectly designed this law is in life. Like there's no escaping it,
So there's a guy that I listen to a lot on YouTube and stuff. It's a podcast. And he had a guest on that was talking about this exact principle. And he said the issue with most people to where they are unhappy is because they're not unhappy enough to make the change. So you kind of think of it in regards to like traveling distance. So if something is 500 feet away, would you walk to it or would you drive the car to it?
500 feet?
Yeah.
I don't know. I need more context, but 500 feet, I guess I would walk to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say it's 1,000 feet.
Yeah. In the Texas heat, I'll probably drive if I'm able to.
Right. So somewhere in there is a distance to where that's the threshold at which you would change your mode of operation. And so that's the issue is most people they're uncomfortable. That's what you just said. Like, oh man, I want to know more about it before I commit to walking.
Right.
But most likely I'm going to walk it. That's most people. They're just uncomfortable enough to not be happy, but not uncomfortable enough that they would change what they're doing. And so like, let's say you're in a career, like, oh, I hate my job, but they pay me enough money to deal with how aggravating it is.
Yeah.
To where with recovery, the difference is that it becomes miserable enough that you're willing to change it.
Yeah. It just takes a long time to get there.
Right. And I think that's kind of a distinguishing factor where I have a lot of respect for people that are in recovery and they have, like, whether it's 12 steps or whatever the case is, they have a system for their life because they were able to get to that point of, rock bottom and experience that and realize, oh, this is miserable. I have to change something.
Yeah.
Versus the guy that, just goes to his job and gets his paycheck and lives a miserable life his whole life because he's just not quite miserable enough to change.
Yeah. It's like you're in like purgatory.
It's exactly it.
It's like awful, but you're not awful enough.
Yeah.
How sad.
Because again, we're addicted to comfort.
Yeah.
So it's comfortable enough that I'll stick with it.
Right.
Because the only way out of that is, again, to go against your nature and make the conscientious decision yourself that, no, I'm going to find an exit strategy here.
So that's the key then, to make sure that you're going against the grain, to make sure that you're getting uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You should always be seeking discomfort in a growth-oriented way.
Right. Right. Yeah. And that's what I'm thinking is like, what's the key to that? How do I have to get so, like, for example, with addiction, did I have to get that beat up? You know? Like,
yeah, maybe.
That's the question, could it have happened before that? Not that the answer makes any difference, but it's interesting to think about,
Also, you have to think about who saw you in that state.
Right.
And that was enough to plant the seed in them. Like, I'm not doing that shit.
Right.
And so there's a lot of positive impact that could come from you having experienced that, not just individually for you, but from the seeds that you had planted in other people's lives or the people that are still struggling with it that, knew you back then and know you now. And they're like, oh, wow, no, that's the hope that I'm looking for. That's the one that I won't drown myself in 2 minutes. I'll wait the 2 hours because there's hope.
See, that's a fresh perspective. So kind of in the same way that, okay, there's always going to be the two sides, right? So if I'm getting the happiness up front and paying later, right, there's always going to be that exchange. So if you reverse that instead, if you suffer first, then you're going to get some sort of reward later, right? So it's like everything that I experienced through addiction, all the bad things, it wasn't for nothing.
No.
Right? It's like that suffering did result in something positive.
Yeah.
If I can steer that direction, right?
Exactly.
And I think that's really cool to be able to walk through failures or walk through, disappointments or whatever it is, keeping in mind, this isn't for nothing, right? I like to think that the shit that I went through taught me lessons that only that experience could teach me, right?
Yeah. So go back to the fiscal metaphor you had of money, and you're pulling a loan out on life, right? The opposite of that would be investing, though. And so investing accrues interest as well, and that's a positive interest. And so that you have to view it in that regard of like, yeah, I went through some shit, but I'm turning that into an investment, and I'm pulling out my interest now.
And it's growing with interest.
That's
cool, dude. Wow. Yeah, and if you can keep that frame of mind with you throughout, every day, I mean, you're fearless.
And that right there is the power of perspective.
Yeah. Wow. Very cool. Life takes on a whole new meaning.
It does. It really does.
To be able to say like, yeah, this isn't everything that I'm doing will result in growth. No matter how shitty it is, if I steer the right way and I continue to get uncomfortable, whatever that means, it will result in growth and it will result in some sort of success.
Yeah. We've been talking about like getting uncomfortable on camera and stuff. I talked to you about that pastor the other day that I was listening to where, he's like, in ministry over the last 10 years, the first 8 years I reached X amount of 100,000 people. The last 2 years I've done YouTube, I've reached, 20 million or whatever it was.
Right.
And so for you, it's like you love, being able to socialize with people and hear their story and share your story and speak life into them.
Yeah.
On a one-on-one basis, you're really comfortable with that.
Absolutely.
That is your comfort zone.
Yeah, it's like fun for me, right?
This is not your comfort zone.
No.
You're getting uncomfortable right now.
Yeah.
But if you get more and more repetitions in front of a camera and you start becoming more active with a social media presence, think of the amount of people that you could touch at that point, and the amount of lives that you can influence in a positive way in that field.
Yeah, it's the payout.
That's the payoff.
Yeah.
But you had to get in that discomfort state for it.
Yeah, had to be earned.
Yeah.
Had to be worked for.
Exactly.
Nobody works for free, inclingincluding life.
Exactly.
Isn't that nuts?
Yeah, nothing
That's
is
cool.
free.
Yeah, and it's cool to think that, I could, or any of us could help more people with, a social media presence. It's just so fucking scary, dude. It's so scary.
Yeah.
Internet's a scary place.
It is a scary place. And there's a lot of bad actors, but that doesn't mean that the process in general is bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that it's inherently wrong.
Right.
It's just, a lot of fear around like, what do people think of me? What if I sound stupid?
Right.
What if somebody comments something mean about me?
That's the discomfort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it sounds so silly when you say it out loud, like, why should I care? But it's just what it is.
And those things are going to happen. There's going to be people that dislike you. There's going to be people that you're just not the fit for, right?
Right.
That's something that I had to come to, acceptance with for myself personally is like, I'm just not going to be the right person for people.
Not everybody's going to like you.
And not everybody's going to vibe with what I vibe with. And so you might hate what I have to say. That's cool. There's somebody else out there for you.
Right.
But there's going to be those handful of people that I connect with.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's really that simple, but it's just that's a hard lesson to learn, man. At least it was for me. Not everybody's going to like you. You can't please everybody.
Yeah.
There's going to be rooms that you walk into that you're not liked.
Yeah.
And that was just like so hard for me to understand and accept, through the beginning of my sobriety.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I guess drugs kind of numb that whole fear,
Well, that's the point, right? Drugs numb everything. So anything that's bad, you're not going to feel it because you're numb.
It's crazy, dude. You're fueled on fake emotions for so long that once you like step out of that bubble, it's like you're in a whole different world, bro. Like you're so unfamiliar with it, you know? Same people, same places, same things, but it takes on a whole new existence and it's overwhelming. But
yeah, Rachel, she gets all like the super medical terms and everything. And she said it's a medically, she's going to correct me if I say this wrong, but a medically induced disassociated state. which
Okay.
is just saying that you're fucking high.
You're in La La Land.
If you think about it, like you disassociate from life, which is exactly what you just described. It's like it's all the same people, it's the exact same places, but it's completely different
Yes.
because you disassociated from it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a completely different world.
Right.
Medically induced disassociation.
I think so. I
In
think that's what you
layman's
said.
terms, high.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very high.
For the regular folks, it means you're fucking high.
Right. It's crazy, man. Yeah, I think what's so cool about all these things we've been talking about is they show up in everything, dude. Like there's no avoiding it.
Yeah.
It might not be as obvious in some things, but it's always there. And whether it's karma or God or some other, I don't know, law, it's just, you can't avoid it. You can't avoid it. There's no way to cut corners or cheat in life
No.
without a cost.
I agree 100%.
You know?
There's ways in which you'll feel that you're doing that.
Sure.
Like you feel like, oh, I'm kind of manipulating the game and
Sure.
I'm getting ahead.
Yeah.
It all evens out in the end, though.
Yep. It might take 20 years.
Yeah.
It might not. It might take 2 days.
Yeah.
But there's always going to be some correcting. It's almost as if the universe has like this specific direction that it's going. And if you try to take it off, its balance, it has to pull you back eventually.
Yeah.
And the world's much bigger than me, right? The
Sure,
universe
yeah.
is much bigger than me.
Yeah.
So, pulling that back on it's an easy job for the universe,
Yeah. Yeah. Nature always corrects for sure. Do you watch Marvel much? Like with the
superhero stuff?
Yeah.
Not a fan, no.
It's just funny was what you described as one of the shows. They have the what is it? You have Loki. Loki has a TV show now, and it's about like this group called the Timekeepers, and they're like outside of time, and they have like, forgot what they call it, but it's like the prime timeline, and then they have all these branches, and their job is to keep everything coming back to the prime timeline, like the correct one.
They have to keep on straightening it out.
Yeah, so it's like
Interesting.
they're the curators of the universe to make sure that all these branches don't branch too far off. They all come back.
Right. And see, it's things like this. It's exactly things like this that just they remind me that there's something bigger out there, dude. Like there's something controlling all this.
Absolutely.
Because this world it's too well designed and it's too like closely orchestrated. Like things work how the universe wants it to and not the
Yeah.
other way around, right? And
Yeah.
so it's hard to know that and then think, oh, there's no creator behind this. Like, dude, like this is a really intricate plan we've got going on down here,
Yeah.
How could you not see that there's hands in this,
Yeah, there was a comedian, or it might have been Rogan, but somebody was talking about that, and they said it's really funny when you talk to like, the scientific community, or you talk to atheists and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like they don't believe in miracles, but you got to give them just the Big Bang. As long as you give them that one miracle,
Right.
they're cool with everything else. But
That's funny.
it's just kind of odd because it's like you still have to have the one miracle though. So somebody still had to make that big boom happen.
Correct. They're still on the hook.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And even if you chalk it up to science, it's like, science is still a creation of something, right? Like,
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I think, what's the guy's name? Big black guy that's a scientist. I love watching his stuff. Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, dude, he's cool.
Yeah,
He's funny.
a lot of people talk about this, but he always talks about like as far as Christianity, he says God is like the God of the in-betweens because it's in between all the things that we haven't figured out in science yet.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And
He's all the question marks.
yeah, as far as I'm aware, he is not a man of any type of faith. But he talks to a lot of people that are men of faith.
Yeah.
And one of them was kind of challenging him on that. And it's like, yeah, but you still got to get past that first miracle, right? And he's like, yeah, but that's the in-betweens. So from the man of faith perspective, science is just proving everything that he believes in to be true.
Right.
And from the,
Atheistic, agnostic,
he's proving everything to not be true. So it's like they're looking at the exact same thing from different perspectives.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like what you said too. Like it started with the in-between. So it's like,
Right.
So then you can say that our foundation is that question mark. It's the God in between. And if it started with that, then it certainly ends with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's funny. I've never heard that before, that like they have to admit to that first one.
Yeah.
You know?
They had another thing I was watching. It was a documentary on National Geographic about like the story of Moses. So Moses parts the Red Sea, right? And they're going through it and everything. And these are like very scientific, agnostic people.
Brainiacs.
Yeah, brainiacs. And they're going through like tide tables and everything. They're like, if you run everything back to what we're guessing was the time of Moses, they actually have the tide tables lining up just perfectly to where there actually is a segregation of sea.
Wow.
And a land path that goes across. And they're like, so it's not really a miracle, it's just science. And I'm like, yeah, but somebody had to tell them to be there.
Right. Do you see what you're like? How do you not hear yourself right now? Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, that is science.
That's crazy.
Like you're saying scientifically, Moses did not physically part the Red Sea.
Right.
But somebody told Moses to be there at the right time.
Yeah. It was planned.
Right.
That's
like he didn't just
crazy.
coincidentally show up on the beach of an entire sea at the exact right place.
Yeah. It's almost as if these scientists are kind of like further proving the existence of God without trying to,
Right.
That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, I think that just goes back to perspective of like, you can have the scientific mind look at that and say, well, this disproves God. And then you have, the more spiritual mindset look at it and say, no, this literally proves God.
Right.
And they're looking at the exact same thing.
All with a change of perspective.
Yeah.
It can be completely opposite.
Yeah.
It's where it all starts, huh? With the perspective.
Yeah. Perspective is everything. I'm a huge believer in that.
Yeah. I had somebody tell me one time that to be successful, you just have to make good decisions in a row. Like just keep making good decisions, whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
However big or small. And I think just kind of what we talked about with perspective, if you can kind of keep this fresh, positive, like work towards the light perspective, making good decisions won't be so hard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like setting yourself up to do that.
Well, it's kind of like a lot of the old timers I talk to that are in recovery. If you ask them like, oh, how do you stay sober? He's like, well, I'm not trying to stay sober for 6 months or for 20 years. I'm just trying to be sober today. And then tomorrow I'll try and be sober that day as well. And then before you know it, you have 365 days in a row. And then before you know it, you have 2 years in a row and 5 years in a row and 10 years in a row. And so exactly what you just said, you don't have to worry about the next 30 decisions. Just make the right decision today.
Right.
And then tomorrow we can make that right decision then.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's like when you break it down and look at it, like life if you look at life as a task or a job, it's really so simple. Like do the right thing. Do what's right, not what's easy. That's it.
So the old saying, you're missing the trees for the forest, or the forest for the trees.
Yeah.
I think that's the case with a lot of things. And what you said earlier is people kind of have crippling anxiety because they look at things as a whole. Right. Instead of breaking them down to like itemize decisions to positively impact with.
It's hard to do.
It is. It's very hard to do. But again, you do those little things. We talk about it a lot in business and in marketing of, making the 1% adjustments. Because you think 1%, well, that's not shit. But if I make a 1% here and a 1% there and a 1% there, well, now I had a 10% gain. Yeah. And let's say I did a 10% gain for this quarter this year, but then I do another 10% the next time. Well, that's a 20% gain. Yep. And before you know it, you've doubled your business value.
Right. Yeah, it goes to show how important all the little things are too, collectively.
The little things are so important. When we were talking about budgets the other day.
I was just about to say, like spending $2 on a candy bar seems like nothing. Oh, I won't even notice my count has changed.
Yeah, but if you do that once a day, in a month you spent $60 on candy bars.
Right. And if you could go back and change that, you absolutely would. Right. I think sobriety is being in recovery is being in the business of making decisions that you won't regret the next day. That's kind of the core of it all, right? Yeah. I'd never got high and woke up the next day and said, man, I'm sure glad I did that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I don't think anybody does.
That's the key to life in general, though.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's what it is. That's exactly what we were talking about earlier. I think a lot of people in recovery experience stuff that was bad enough to make that perspective adjustment, and to where a lot of normies have not. And so
Yeah.
they don't have that refined perspective that you're having right now of, you know, I need to do stuff that I'm not going to regret tomorrow. Or I need to just make the right decision today and I can worry about tomorrow. They don't think like that at all. They just kind of go through the motions of life and let life happen to them instead of them happening to life.
Right. Because it's not pressing them hard enough. Yeah. I hate to sound like cliche, but yeah, there's definitely times that I'm like actually thankful for my addiction and the things that it put me through, because it taught me some things that only that experience could teach me, and did refine my perspective, like you said. And I think that's cool. You know?
Rachel and I talked about that a little bit yesterday, and she said I was over intellectualizing it. I was like, I feel like this is a good thing though. Because I made a lot of bad mistakes early in life. I squandered a lot of really good opportunities. But again, I look at that with almost a thankful retrospective, because I wouldn't, like, let's say that I would have pursued basketball harder, or just would have pursued college in general harder, then I wouldn't have got kicked out, and I wouldn't have met Rachel, and I wouldn't have had Harley, like all these great, like
we might not be sitting here.
Yeah, Atomic Souls probably wouldn't exist because me and Rachel wouldn't have got together and had the idea together. I say together, it was her idea. I'm by no
For the
means,
record.
by no means am I trying to say that had anything to do with me. But yeah, none of those things would have happened. So it's like, how can I look at that with disgust? You know, I have to be thankful for those stupid decisions that I made back then, because that's what made me the man I am today.
Yeah. Yeah. Just going with the flow of it all.
Yeah.
Because you will make mistakes. You will make bad decisions at some point, one or the other. But as long as you can keep that perspective of growth, you'll be all right.
Yeah. Agreed.
Wake up the next day proud of what you did the day before.
Yeah.